Ukraine's General Staff confirms strike on oil depot in Vonish region. FSB office set on fire in Novosibirsk. And why NATO won't shut down the Russian missiles and drones over Ukraine. The latest news next. Last night, Ukrainian Defense Forces launched a strike on the Anna neft product fuel storage facility near the village of Anna in Russia's Vonish region, according to the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Russian air defense systems were active over the site, but a hit was confirmed on one of the vertical storage tanks, sparking a fire. The operation was carried out by Ukrainian Security Service, SBU, in cooperation with other defense forces units. The results of the strike are still being clarified. A fire broke out overnight on October 4th at a storage facility for petroleum products in Russia's Perm Krai, covering an area of 10,000 square meters, according to Emercom of Russia. The incident occurred in the industrial zone of the village of Asansy in the Volga Federal District near the city of Perm. According to the Russian Ministry of Emergency Situations, more than 60 firefighters and nearly 20 equipment units were deployed to combat the blaze. Preliminary reports indicate that there were no casualties due to the large fire at the oil depot. The cause of the fire remains unknown at this time, according to Emercom of Russia. Officials also stated that the fire at the petroleum storage facility has been localized. Footage of the intense fire near Perm has circulated online. Earlier this winter, a gas pipeline explosion triggered a major fire in Russia's Perm Krai, resulting in casualties. Additionally, in October last year, an explosion occurred at the Ural military-industrial plant in the Perm region owned by Rostec. On October 3rd, 2024, a fire broke out in the Russian city of Novosibirsk in the building of the regional office of the FSB. A container with a flammable mixture was thrown into the building through a broken window, causing a fire, according to the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine. The statement says, on October 3rd, 2024, the regional office of the FSB burned down in the city of Novosibirsk in Russia. Flammable mixtures were thrown through the broken window of the Chekist's office and set on fire. This is just one of the increasingly frequent attacks on state institutions inside Russia. The number of people ready to take radical actions against the current Kremlin regime is growing. Russian forces do not have sufficient manpower and equipment to sustain an intense offensive, and the current Russian offensive operations in Ukraine's east are likely to reach a culmination within the next few months, if not weeks, reported by Institute for the Study of War. Ukrainian forces are effectively defending in layers along the line of contact, gradually giving up territory while causing heavy losses to Russian troops. This defense is slowing down the Russian advance, but operational difficulties on the Ukrainian side are creating opportunities for Russian forces to make tactical gains. However, Russia is facing shortage in manpower and equipment, making it unlikely that they can sustain these intensified offensive efforts for much longer. It's expected that Russian operation in Ukraine's east will peak in the coming weeks or months, as noted by Ukrainian officials and analysts at ISW. On the 1st of October, Russian forces captured the city of Vuhledar in the western part of the Donetsk region. This position may provide them with a better tactical advantage to push toward the H-15 highway connecting Donetsk and Zaporizhia, and reduce the large Ukrainian-held area in the western part of the Donetsk region.
The Russian seizure of Vuhledar will not on its own radically change the operational situation in western Donetsk Oblast, however, and Russian forces will likely struggle to achieve their operational objectives in the area during the ongoing offensive operation in western Donetsk Oblast. Russian offensive operations that are pursuing operationally significant objectives, like the Russian effort to seize Chasiv Yar or to push Ukrainian forces off the left east bank of the Oskil River, have either stalled or are resulting in particularly gradual gains over long stretches of time, respectively.
Russian forces continue to prioritize the offensive push towards Pokrovsk, and the operational significance of seizing the city will likely in part depend on the Russian military's ability to leverage the city in wider operational maneuver in the Donetsk region. NATO will not intercept missiles and drones over Ukraine as it does over Israel, as these are two very different landscapes and battlefields, and it would be involving us in a war in a different way, reported by Pentagon Deputy Press Secretary Sabrina Singh at a briefing.
We are talking about two very different landscapes and battlefields. The president, at the very beginning of when Russia invaded Ukraine, has directed this department to provide Ukraine what it needs on the battlefield.
About details, the Pentagon spokeswoman emphasized that Ukraine has been very successful in using air defense and other capabilities to continue to regain its territory. She also reported on a conversation between Pentagon Chief Lloyd Austin and Ukrainian Defense Minister Rustem Umerov, which focused on obtaining the latest battlefield updates to better assess what additional capabilities Ukraine may require. Singh stressed that US President Joe Biden has pledged that the United States will not intervene in the Ukraine war but will support Kyiv in its efforts to regain its sovereign territory. Asked whether hidden targets from Polish or Romanian territory would also be considered putting boots on the ground, Singh said that would be involving us in a war in a different way. She also noted that Ukraine has been able to successfully defend against Russian strikes to their cities, to their populations, to their infrastructure. The spokeswoman added that the US will continue to provide Ukraine with the necessary support to achieve this goal. Ukraine has urged the Hague Arbitral Tribunal, which is considering the case of Russia's violation of the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, to order Russia to dismantle the illegally constructed Kerch Bridge, reported by European Pravda with reference to Ukrainian Forum, citing a speech by Ukraine's co-agent, Deputy Legal Representative Oksana Zolotarova during the hearings.
It is Russia that unlawfully built this bridge, and now it needs to remove it to enable passage through the Kerch Strait consistent with international law. Russia should do so in conformity with its other UNCLOS, United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, obligations to protect the marine environment and underwater cultural heritage.
Zolotarova said dismantling the bridge is the only way to restore passage for vessels of all nations that have used the strait in the past and for future maritime traffic.
We ask this tribunal to tell Russia that enough is enough. We ask that you give meaning to the Law of the Sea Convention. We ask that you uphold the legal rules of the world oceans that were drafted to protect the common interests of all humankind.
She also stated that Russia must be ordered to provide assurances that it will not repeat these violations in the future. Russia must be ordered to wipe out the consequences of its illegal acts by releasing and deregistering the Ukrainian drilling rigs that it has unlawfully seized and reflect. Zolotarova concluded, Russia must be ordered to conduct proper studies on the impact of Russia's construction projects in the Kerch Strait on the marine environment, and Russia must be ordered to take steps to remediate the environmental damage caused by these projects and to actively manage continuing risks of environmental harm. That's all for today. Thanks for watching this video. Like and subscribe.